Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Meta Cafe. Happy Friday. Grab your cup of coffee or your tea, and let's sit back and chat about the astrology, human design, gene keys, whatever it is we want to talk about for today, Saturday, and Sunday. I hope everybody's had a great week. It's been a crazy week for me. Not surprising. I had lots going on, and I'm sure all of you did as well. And I'm looking forward to this weekend because astrologically, it looks like it is going to be a good one. Finally, we deserve it. We've had some craziness going on. Today, we happen to land on a day where not only is the astrology influx, but human design wise, we're also changing energies for the week ahead from the sun that was at gate 63, actually 60, 63. The sun was at 63 and the earth was at 64. So we were dealing with self-doubt and confusion. Now the sun and earth combination moved to the gate 22 for the sun and 47 for the earth. And that's a great combination. 22 takes us to grace and charm and all of the delightful, joyful energies that we carry deep within our emotions. 47, even though it is part of the ajna and the mind, it can bring us the ahas and the epiphanies that last week's confusion started. So if we were downloaded with some new idea or some next step that you were meant to take, but the instruction manual didn't come, this week the instruction manual may show up, right? As everything begins to settle in and prepare you to actually take steps forward on whatever that idea was, right? So this looks like it is going to be a good weekend. There's a couple of little chinks along the way. In fact, as I was looking at sort of the wider theme and I pulled back a bit and looked in, it looked like, today, Friday, let's just call today the first day of the weekend. Today's a great day to get some things done. Tomorrow is a day that may be a little bit moody, just a little moody. I'm not going to say a bad mood day. It's just sort of up and down in the moods. And Sunday looks to be quite spiritual and quite enjoyable. So overall, the energy of tomorrow that has that little scritchiness to it isn't really bad. It's the moon conjunct Uranus. It's short term and it moves on and boom, we're done, right? There are some other things in the background going on that day, but nothing that is really earth shattering or earth breaking. That comes maybe into next week when some things begin to really pick up and change. So let's see how everybody's doing this morning. Good morning, Wanda. Good morning, Crystal. It's good to see you. Vicky, good morning. Great to see you. And Rebecca, good morning from Vancouver, like Vancouver, Canada. Yes, you're only about maybe an hour away from me, Rebecca. That's awesome. Good morning, Debbie Hedden. Good morning, Vanita. It's great to see all of you out there this morning, and I hope you're gearing up for a great weekend. Good morning, Mimi and Willa joining us. That's great. Great to see you. Great to have you. So let's dive in a little bit to what we can expect today. What is going on? So, somehow this week I got out of the role of where the moons were. Like, where's the moon been all this week? I mean, I know obviously we had a new moon. It was in Pisces, but other than that, I couldn't tell you what's been going on. So today, when I started really looking this up, the moon is in Aries. And that is usually a day where we can have some, chinks going on, some chinks in the armor, right? Where we might have some confrontation, we might have some conflict. The moon being soft and feminine and emotional, and Aries ruled by Mars being more, contrary, more in conflict and confrontation. So the moon in Aries is often, kind of having its moments, its moods. And yet today doesn't feel like it will be that kind of negative expression of those emotions, although that's a possibility. It's always a possibility when the moon is in Aries that people could be irritable, that other people may be experiencing some kind of conflict and it spills out into their life with their friends and in the workplace and in the grocery stores, on the roads, etc. So you just need to be watchful for that. But the moon is also in a sextile today with Venus. And anytime the moon and Venus come together in this sort of positive, this is a positive aspect, 60 degrees. And it's one where they're sharing their information back and forth in very positive ways. So that settles things down. We're more keen on keeping peace in our relationships than we are really in stirring the pot or causing problems. So we're much more indulgent, let's say, with how we deal with one another. We're not so quick on the draw. If you perceive a slight, if someone says something that you don't like, you're not as quick maybe with this aspect to jump down their throats. So we have that. We also have another interesting setup today with the sun. So the full force of our ego energy in a sextile relationship with Saturn. And Saturn is duty and responsibility. It's our authority. It's the part of you that, knows who you are, what you're doing, and how to get what you need done, right? So the sun in a sextile to Saturn today is bringing us the energy to be able to be orderly in our minds and then self-disciplined in the way that we go about getting things done. So we can hold ourselves back when we need to, and we can push ourselves forward when we need to today. So it means that if you have executable plans, and what I mean by that is you have a goal, you have a plan, or you have a to-do list, you can easily get that done today because it's like your mind is focused, your energy is focused on getting things done. We have access today to concentration and focus where we don't always have that. Now, remember, Mercury that rules the mind is retrograde right now. So we may have moments where we drift off, but we can bring ourselves back just by remembering, yes, I've got this next task I need to get done. This is a great day to tie up loose ends. It's Friday, number one. Who wants to drag into Monday things that you don't need to do, right? So get some things done, clear off your desk, and get yourself refreshed for the weekend so you're not thinking about what's left over from this week that you need to drag with you into next week. So tie up your loose ends. I also wrote down, this is funny, I wrote no idle hands or mind. Because if you have idle hands and an idle mind, then sometimes this connection to Saturn can take you into melancholy, take you into the moody side of this energy. And the last thing you really want to do is be pulled into that negative frame of mind, particularly with the Earth sitting at gate 47 in your human design. Gate 47, even though it's this gate of beautiful epiphany and aha moments and extraordinary, breakthroughs, it is also the gate of stinking thinking, where your mind can get into a rut and it can keep on this roll thinking the same thought over and over again. And it's not necessarily a positive thought that it can get to. So you want to watch where your mind goes. And your mind will go into the more negative side easily if you are not keeping up with what it is that you had planned to do, right? So you've got to monitor your thoughts, you got to monitor your actions, and take steps forward. I hope that makes sense for everybody. Let's see who else has joined us. Good morning, Laura. Good morning. I said good morning to Willa. Good morning, Michelle. Great to see you out there. I hope everybody is looking forward to a wonderful weekend. I noticed I have sun this morning instead of snow. Yes, I love that. Then my husband gets to work and he calls me and says, guess what? We have 1.5 inches of snow here. And I went, really? That's so weird. He's only 16 miles from me. So he's got snow down at work, but up here we have sunny skies. I love it. So let's see, what else can I tell you about today? I think, so one of the things that we could think about today, especially Friday, today, not necessarily for the whole weekend, but for some of you, it might spill into the weekend, is that we need to monitor our impulses versus deliberate action. So what that means is deliberate action is actually favored for the weekend. Impulsive energy can sometimes take you to a place where you make mistakes, particularly if when Mercury is retrograde. So we want to watch that impulsive behavior in favor of the more deliberate steps that we can take, right? So have a plan, execute the plan. And if the plan, if something blocks your path for the plan, then take a moment and just stop. and see what that means. Did you skip a step somewhere else? Or is it just time to, bring it to a close or hold until the energy opens up more for you to move forward? So the last thing you want to do, though, is be impulsive. That seems sort of to be a theme here that keeps recurring in this month of March through Venus's transits, through the moon's transits, and the way that it connects to some of the other planets. We keep getting that sort of theme coming up of watching impulsive behavior in favor of being much more deliberate in the things that we're doing. So that kind of goes along with the energy of the beginning of the year where we talked about conservatism and being a good steward of your resources, time, money, energy, and not overindulging in things, whether that's food and drink or spending money or, doing things that are risky. So we were talking about calculated risks, taking calculated risks. Jupiter's transit through Sagittarius tends to make us want to overexpand. So I think the energies here in March that keep popping up to remind us not to be impulsive kind of help us maintain that balance between conservatism and over optimism, right? So we're in a teeter-totter sort of position instead of being overly impulsive. This just little reminders that we get from the universe, which we have to kind of say thank you for. I'll tell you that. If we start to transition over into tomorrow, we have the moon in Aries tomorrow all day as well. It'll be a good day, a Saturday with the moon in Aries often, and we don't have any real negative. Well, we do. We have a possible kind of confrontational sort of thing going on. But when you have a weekend with the moon in Aries, it's a great time to get some things done, do some catch up. Maybe you have to, do some, maybe you've been, out and busy all week long. So you come home and you get some time to clean up the house or put some things away. I know in my own family, it's lacrosse season. And so sports are starting to be, pick up for the spring. Baseball's just around the corner. And so you get the sense that, that more outdoor energy is picking up, more competitive energy, and a sort of wanting to be and do more outward instead of more inward. So we've been in the week, we've been in the winter of sort of the internal, and now we're beginning that shift, for the external. And tomorrow is a day that sits on that precipice, right? Where we're the whole of the day, the moon is in Aries, but there it means that it's also squaring Saturn and Pluto. And a square is a challenge, right? A challenge. And so the mood, if we become irritated, then that mood tends to take us down a rabbit hole. If you get down that rabbit hole, there's a reason, and that it's not that you're being punished or anything like that. It would be that it would give you access to what is transforming within you. And transformation is another key word for us as we move into this next week. So the weekend may be giving you maybe something showing up in your life, in your mood, that gives you an inkling as to what it is that needs transforming in your life. So if you use that as in a positive way, then the energy tomorrow isn't so bad, right? It's like, okay, I see, I get that. Yeah, I've been meaning to take care of that, or I've been, meaning to look at that in a more close manner. As we get to 9:15 in the morning tomorrow, the moon turns void of course. And it's void of course from 9:15 a.m. my time to 11:11 p.m. my time. So nearly the entire day, the moon is void of course. So it is a good day to, go inward and do some soul searching, kind of make yourself look outside of the box and see yourself differently. But it's not necessarily a good day to start something, right? It's not. The moon and void, of course, here says we're kind of stuck in a pattern. We're dealing with some of the things that we've been dealing with. 11:11 p.m. I always love to see those times when they pop up like that. That's a number that always reminds me of a doorway, of new beginnings. Numerologically, it's, two power numbers, 11 and 11. If you are on the East Coast, of course, this is from 12:15 p.m. 12:15 p.m. on Saturday until, let's see, no, 12, 1, 2, 11 a.m. Sunday morning. God, the time always gets to me. At that point in time, though, the moon moves into Taurus, and that sets us up for Sunday. That is such a nicer day, right? Although initially, the moon, as it moves into Taurus, is going to meet up with Uranus, who is newly into Taurus. And so there may be some interesting energies for the day, starting Sunday morning, because you'll literally be asleep when the moon conjuncts Uranus. But there is this in sort of impulse to want to break free that pops up in our field. And then if you add that to some of the things in the earth with the mindset, what we need to break free from is the mind, right? What's going on in the mind. So if we can break free from that, then it sets us up in a good position. But if you're trying to bust free from the physical constraints that you feel, through your jobs, through your relationships, family ordeals, then you may find yourself in trouble later. So instead, look to the mind and what can you break free from up here, right? That's where you want to go. Now, the rest of Sunday looks like a beautiful day. The moon is in Taurus all day. It is squaring Venus, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It might mean that we are more settled in our relationships. We feel good about where we are financially. We might feel good where we are. We don't have to make any changes, but maybe just a small little sense of watching any overindulgences in any way, shape, or form. But I'll tell you what's really good on Sunday is that Mars is in a sextile to Neptune. Mars is the planet of action and forward motion. Mars is in Taurus right now. The moon eventually is going to catch up with the moon, with Mars in Taurus, but I don't think that happens until Monday. Yeah, that happens on Monday. So we don't have to deal with it yet. So it is a day when your ego demands are really low. So we're feeling much more sensitive. We're feeling much more psychic, maybe, or intuitive. We're feeling like we need much more spiritual time. Where we want to be doing more spiritual work. Maybe we want to read a good book. Maybe we want to do some prayer work or meditation work. Maybe we want to do some more yoga, whatever it is that supports you on the spiritual plane. Doing some of that spiritual work on Sunday can really pay off in a big way, as insights that you gain during this Sunday sort of inner reverie can change the course of your life, your goals, and the things that you want to do, because you may be receiving more insights about what comes next. You may adopt a more enlightened cause or a more enlightened way forward from here on. And, that serves a great purpose in the grand scheme of things, because it takes you out of the ego energies of striving to competition, to greed. And I'm not saying you guys are greedy. I'm just saying those are some of those negative energies that we have out there in the field, to switch lanes to a more enlightened way of being and sharing ourselves in more enlightened ways, whatever that means for you as an individual. So the insights that you gain from the work you do on Sunday may be huge in the long run, right? So in the end, that day, Sunday, could be a turning point for you, is especially if you're willing to look at what is going on in the mind. The gate 47 with the earth is challenging us exactly to do that, right? To look at the mind. Cornelia and I last night on the Ascension and Astrology show were talking a bit about this, about what is it that you think of, right? What is it, if you catch yourself in thought, what is it that you're focused on? And, we talked last night about when you're going to bed at night, what are the last thoughts you have? When you wake up in the morning, what are the first thoughts you have? Right? Because that's going to give you an idea of what you're focusing on. And if the last thoughts that you go to sleep on are negative or worries or anger or upset or, any number of those more negative emotional feelings or thoughts, it can be, how we are as human beings, right? We get in a fight with someone or an argument, and then we spend the next several hours beating ourselves up because we didn't say the right thing or do the right thing, or we're rehashing the conversation in our minds. And in that rehashing of that conversation, we're saying things that we should have said, and then we beat ourselves up because we didn't say it. And then, the drill, right? So we take what was a minor blip in the whole course of the day, and we make a mountain out of it, of a molehill, right? This little thing. And I mean, in the grand scheme of your life, I mean, maybe it's a big thing too. We do that equally with little things and big things. So if you're going to bed at night with that kind of energy, then what are you doing to yourself all night long? Is your whole body is in resonance with that energy, with that, whatever it is, anger, irritation, upset, worry. And instead, go to bed and think about the good things, right? You're the one in control of your thoughts. It's not that, anybody else is making you think those bad things. And yes, so what? Things do happen in your day. Things do happen. And it is, not an unnatural thing for us to want to focus in the negative, but we don't have to focus there. Right? We could focus on all the good things. We can focus on the things that we're grateful for. The point is to go to sleep thinking about the good things. And then when you wake up in the morning, thinking about what is it that what are the first thoughts in your mind in the morning when you come up from unconsciousness? What is it that you're thinking about? Are you already falling or trails ahead, looking at what your day is going to be like, anticipating what's going to happen, especially if you have a meeting or a conversation that you have to have with someone that's difficult? Are you already planting the seed of conflict and confrontation, or are you planting the seed of peace and love and happiness or joy in experiencing your day? These are the things that we have the power over, right? You're never sort of the victim of the thoughts that are coming in. You can see them coming in. You don't have to identify with them. Instead, you can change them, right? You have that power. And then the gate 47, I'm going to show you. Hold on. I'm going to show you something fun. This is the just now chart. I just pulled this morning, and look at it. If you were born this morning, you're going to be a reflector. So we're in sort of this rarefied energy right now, as all of the centers in your human design are open by transit. It doesn't change your fundamental energy, but it means that, there's this opportunity to deal with your conditioning, right? The gate 47 sits right here on the ajna, right there. And you can see it's just halfway. Last week, meaning yesterday and back 5 days, we had the energy at gate 63, or this would be 64, defined. And it was causing confusion, right? Because it comes into the mind. Then we have this gate 47, which, now what do you think about that? Is your confusion, are you so confused and so unsure of yourself that you remain confused? Or do you just recognize, hey, this is something that I'm confused about, I'm just going to let it go? And the moment you let it go, then 47 can come into play and start putting everything in its proper place. It's like the little cogs on a wheel that suddenly clink into place, and now everything moves. But if your mind is always on the things that you can't get right, or the thing you don't know what to do, I'm confused, I don't know where to go, I don't know who to turn to, I don't know what to do next, then that's what keeps happening. So you have to address the mind, which is on the ajna, this part right here, right? And some of you, if you in your own personal chart have this colored in green, you have a defined ajna. So you yourself may have a very defined way of thinking. And it may be that you deal with confusion in a very positive way. Maybe you just set it aside and you wait for it to be revealed. Or maybe you take that in and you've gotten into a habit of, processing that thought in the same way, and always come up with the same answer, that I can't, I won't, it never goes good for me, etc. So some of you with a defined ajna have to work a little bit harder to change your mind. And that's what we have the opportunity to do. The sun at gate 22, to show you where 22 is, it sits right here on the emotional center, moves up toward the throat center, but we don't have a connection at the throat right now, so it's just hanging here. The gate 22 is about grace and charm. It's the energy that I've told you is the inner evolution, the involution that we are moving through. So what we see now in the energy of the human design and even in the gene keys is a focus on our inner growth. And it really is prominently beginning on Sunday when we have Mars in a sextile to Neptune, and we really start preferring that inner work. And then if we can do that inner work, the gate 22 can literally lead us into grace. And grace is that, where you begin to feel like everything's okay, like everything is going to work out, and that, you see the benefit of everything that's happened, whether in the moment you thought it was good or bad. You begin to really see and feel and have faith and surrender to that higher process because grace is at work in the behind the scenes. So we can afford to be charming and graceful and gracious to those around us who are struggling, because we know that it has a purpose. It has a bigger purpose behind it. Everything on the emotional center, by the way, has a duality to it, right? It is either grace and charm or not. It could be disgrace. It can be not charming. So that's just the nature of our emotions, right? They're dualistic. They can be either or expressions. It can also come somewhere in between, but literally this is grace or not, right? Charm or not. So here we want to be careful about how it is that we are reacting to the world. Are we coming from a place of the emotional wave down low, or are we on the high? And remembering, that's natural. Some days you just don't feel very charming. You don't feel very gracious. And if that's the case, then knowing that ahead of time, you can monitor where you go, who you're doing it with, what you're doing in general, until you can feel the shift in that energy, or you can consciously connect with shifting that energy over to be much more pleasant. Your choice, right? Your choice. It's all in the mind. Let's see, who else do we have out here? Good morning, Anne. It's good to see you out there. Hello, and happy International Women's Day. All you inspirational ladies out there, that is true. Today was International Women's Day. Good morning, Debbie Tibbetts, Tumiel, and good morning, Colleen. Nice to see you ladies out there, and I hope you're all having a great morning. I want to talk a little bit, too, about Jupiter this week, as today Jupiter moves into the gate 11. The gate 11 is also on the ajna. It is right here, and it leads down to the throat. It is the gate of light in the highest expression, in the siddhi expression. It is light. It is the full potential of your DNA lighted up and moving light through it, transducing light through it, and through all of it. It would be the full potential expression of who you are as a human. Now we have Jupiter sitting there. Jupiter sitting there is expanding the light, but the light begins here in obscurity. The shadow of Jupiter at gate 11 is obscurity. We're in the dark. We can't see the light, right? We've gotten so used to thinking in the negative, or getting caught up in the concerns of the world, that we can only see maybe this little pinpoint of light out there. But you know how when you focus on something, it gets bigger? Well, we can either choose to focus on the dark and all of the negative, or we can choose to focus on that little pinpoint of light, that little pinpoint of beauty. And as we do, it begins to expand, and it begins to make its move out of obscurity into idealism. And that would be the gift in the gate 11 here, is this idealism. And then that idealism moving from there into full on light. And that would be what I would hope everyone would choose to focus on, the little bit of light, right? That little light that we see, the light at the end of the tunnel. But, if you're moving, and we always are moving and changing and evolving, and that light is getting bigger. That light is getting bigger, and Jupiter's expansive in nature. We're expanding the light. So every one of you has a part to play in that. The more of the light that you embody personally, the more light then that's transducing meaning moving in and out of you. And if it's moving into you and then out from you, that means it's affecting everybody else around you. So you are actually having an effect on the entire planet by being able to transduce the light. So for the next several weeks, we are transducers of light, right? The energy too in uh, the gate. Let's see, what was that one? Hold on. Transfiguration. That was the energy, I think, of 47. Yeah. The energy of the earth this week, in its negative, of course, is taking us into that stinking thinking. It is called oppression in the gene keys, oppression. And what does that mean? Being held down, oppressing. But we move out of oppression through transmutation and into transfiguration. That's amazing, right? The light helping to transfigure, to transmute our beingness right now into more full light. And we can do this. We can do this. This isn't just pie in the sky thinking, right? This is, science is showing us very clearly that we have an effect, that our thoughts and what we're thinking creates our reality. So what are we thinking, right? What are we thinking? And, just test it in your own life sometime. What are you focusing on in your world is what is being created in your world. So what if you just for one day focused on just love and joy and play? What would happen? I think it would have huge ramifications, right? Not only for you, but your family, the people you work with, the people you hang out with. It could be a huge, and then now multiply that by the numbers of people that we come in contact with on any given day, and we can start a wave of light moving from us as soon as we choose to let go of our old stinking thinking. It's pretty fun to think about, right? All right. Let's see. How is everybody doing? Do we have questions out there? Comments? I just see a lot of good mornings. I love that. Nobody having any problems? Anything that you want to get off your chest? Let me see if there's anything else I want to share here. I think I went through everything so far this morning. It's only 8:30. So what if we did a couple of card readings? Right? Couple of card readings. Let's do that. I'm going to do my usual. Here we go. The Spirit Animal Oracle by Colette Baron Reid. And I'm going to use the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reid. And I'm going to ask the question, what is it that they want us to know for the weekend? I need a bigger desk. Oh, wait, no, I don't. If I need a bigger desk, then I'm going to make a bigger mess of said desk. Definitely don't need that. If anybody would like a personal reading this morning, let me know that too. Ooh, All That Glitters. Card number 16, which is a 7, right? All That Glitters. Look at that. Beautiful card. And look at all that light, right? All that light. So let's see what that card means. Number 16. Aha. Okay, the essential meanings of the card say a need to see beyond the superficial, the desire to don a mask or dress something up to disguise its true nature, trying to be something you're not, chasing after every sparkly new thing, being mercurial. It's only human to want to adorn oneself in trinkets and paint a pretty picture of oneself. It's natural to want to acquire the trappings of status or to deny them as a statement of rebellion. But if it sparkles, is it better? Whether it's a fast car, a big house, a title or position, the stamp of authority, or the sparkling of diamonds, these icons let you know something about a person, place, or thing. Or do they? The truth is that people seek to acquire things because of what they will do for them and how they symbolically will elevate them and make them more attractive. This card signals that it's time to see beyond the adornments and probe underneath the surface. Learn to recognize the masks people wear and the motives underlying them. Imagine that all the glitter is gone. Would you still desire the object or the person? And in relationship, it says sometimes we try to become something we're not to impress others. We embellish a story a bit, adding some dramatic elements to make us more appealing. The real person becomes hidden behind the sparkle and the shine. Then there are times when we don't see the true value of someone else because he or she may not have the glitz and glamour that seems so desirable. Now is the time to look past the surface, beyond the mask, to the essence of a person. Who that person is, not what he or she has or can give you, is important. See beyond the glitter and look for the inner glow. Use the eyes in your heart. I love that. Let go of artifice and let what is authentic shine. And the prosperity message here in this card is sometimes an opportunity looks so good that it glitters like gold and you just can't resist it, especially when it appears others are doing so well and have hit the mother lode. During the American gold rush, everyone hurried west to find their fortune and then deserted entire towns after the mining depleted the gold veins in the earth. So too can you deplete yourself as you chase after the latest shiny thing that has caught your eye. There is a mercurial quality to your present circumstances. Pay no attention to those who chase after fool's gold. Resist the temptation to be jealous of others. What they have achieved may not be the true success you seek, so don't compare yourself to them. You see only the surface right now, only the sparkle. Be assured that you will experience your own shining moment if you stick to what you know. All that glitters may not be gold for you. I think that's an awesome message for the weekend. Let's pick an animal card to go through the weekend, and I was seeing a bunch of things pop up. So Willa would like a reading, Vicky would like a reading, and Rebecca. So we have quite a few. And guess what? I have time. I see a good question, though, that I would like to talk about, too. And that is, can I talk about the portal? Yes, Laura, I would love to talk about the portal. And hold on, let me pull a card first from the animal deck for us for the weekend. Then we will do some readings and talk about this portal. So hold on, let me just stay focused and deliberate in my actions since that's favored today. Oh, we have plenty of time. Time is all we have. By the way, I took this fun quiz this morning on Facebook. I don't even know why it popped up on my face. It popped up in my face while I was checking to make sure all the notifications had gone out about the broadcast. Ooh, this one popped out. 2 popped out. Nightingale and mouse. Numbers 40 and 41. Wow, they're sequential. We've had that a couple times. Sequentials. So mouse spirit was upside down and nightingale was up. And nightingale says, love is all around. Love is all around. And mouse, even though she was upside down, says, tend to the small things. That's a good reminder. Anyway, so I was taking this little quiz about what song represents you. And my neighbor on the island here, his was a Gloria Gaynor song. I shall survive. I will survive. That was what his was. And I went, oh, that sounds like fun. So I clicked it and mine was Let It Be. And I went, oh, that is so fabulous because that's exactly what I wanted to talk about today. It's about just this energy of letting it be, this portal that we've been talking about this week of opportunity for us to move on, to elevate, to ascend, to evolve, right? We've been talking about it. I talked about it on Wednesday or Tuesday, that Cornelia and I talked about yesterday, that other people, I've been seeing it, other people's talking, maybe not in the same verbiage, but there's this opportunity portal that we moved through. And it began in a sign that we think of as the ending sign, right? Pisces. And Pisces this is kind of what I wanted to talk about yesterday. I didn't get to it, but Pisces energy is the beginning and the end. It's called the Alpha and the Omega, right? It's the ending of the zodiac. It leads to Aries, the new beginning. You have one fish swimming in the deep in the unconscious and another one swimming out in the conscious mind. It talks to us about the spiral energy, about the circle of life, about how we go through those times of the internal dark, and then we come out into the light. And then we go back into the dark and we come out into the light. And by dark and light, I'm not meaning like depression and sadness and then coming out into, joy and exuberance. No, I'm talking about where we're going through the integrative cycle, where we're taking the energy that we've drawn into us, and we are integrating it, and then we take that knowledge and we now take it out into the light and we demonstrate it. The portal we just walked through is one of now demonstrating all of the internal things that we've learned, right? All of the things that we have learned about ourselves and integrated through the dark, we are now bringing out into the light, right? Jupiter at gate 11, the light. I hope that makes it clearer, Laura. The portal was a very powerful one. We choose to elevate or we choose to stay. And in some cases, people can choose to go backwards, to devolve, to go back in time instead of staying here and looking, for the next part of our growth cycle. It's all right and proper. Whichever path people choose, it's right and proper for them at that time. But I'm saying that this portal was an offering for us to move up, right? To to elevate ourselves and to see ourselves in a greater light, to choose to be the light. That's the key. Laura, I hope that answers that question for you. If not, you can certainly ask me to refine that some more. So let's take a look at Nightingale. I believe we've had Nightingale before. That is not the right book. That will not help me find Nightingale. But I believe we've had Nightingale before. And it is about love is all around. In the darkness of night, Nightingale spirit sings her song of love and hope, a harbinger of dawn, to remind you that the sun will rise again soon. You are so loved, and the illumination song of the Nightingale spirit calls you to a new level of self-awareness and connection with the light. Light! Yes, there is shadow and darkness, but love and prosperity exist everywhere, even in the seeming emptiness of space. Well, let me reread that part. Even in the seeming emptiness of space, darkness, and a starless night, hearken to the message, letting the music of the Nightingale's song remind you that love is all around. Feel it and trust it in tomorrow's light, renewing your ability to recognize that the spaces that appear empty are filled with love and abundance. Illumination will happen soon. I mean, I couldn't have picked a better card, right? Thank you, Spirit. Right? So beautiful. Now let's see what Mouse Spirit has to say. Mouse Spirit says, tend to the small things. I feel like that one's more about today, perhaps, because today was Saturn and the sun, making us more open to completing things and tending to the small things. The humble mouse pays attention to the smallest details, and Mouse Spirit calls on you to notice the nuances and the fine print at this time. In your eagerness to meet your goals and pursue your dreams, it is easy to forget the importance of clear communication and tending to the little things, including people's subtle signs that they are unhappy, as well as the small voice inside of you that says, this doesn't feel right. Take your time to sniff out what you need to know. Is there some detail or nuance about how you engage others or operate in the world that is key to your success, but you've too readily dismissed as nothing big or nothing special? Mouse Spirit reminds you that what seems small may be more important and powerful than you think, so look again. Do not underestimate yourself or your potential for co-creating something amazing when you pay attention to the details. Now, Mouse was also in upside down, so I'm going to read the protection message that says, are you caught up in the details, micromanaging others and stressing out because you want everything to be perfect? Are you procrastinating because you want every detail to be just right and losing track of time and your priorities? Mouse Spirit wants you to listen to your intuition that tells you that the detail you fear you are overlooking will only appear when you stop obsessing. Mouse Spirit will lead you to the nuances you need to notice and will diligently work to support you if you take a breath and trust that guidance will be provided. Small gestures carry great power right now. And maybe you need to take action toward discovering what is going on that you may not be seeing, or toward mending a relationship or situation. Ask a question, do a little research, and listen for mouse spirit's quiet little squeak telling you, look here and attend to this detail. I think those are two awesome cards. So let's see what's up here. Who wants a reading? And what deck? I should always ask about the deck, and I always forget. So Rebecca, Debbie, the two Debbies, Vanita. So I'm looking to see, thank you for explaining that. Okay, good. So if anybody has any other questions, certainly let me know. Let's see, Colleen, Rebecca, what card deck would you like me to use for you? Do you have a preference? Debbie? Okay, let's do Debbie while I'm waiting for Colleen and for Rebecca to tell me. Debbie, animal card for you is, I don't know why this is going round and round, but look at the beautiful card. Scarab Beetle Spirit. Magic works through you. Look at that card, that detail. She's so pretty. So let's see what that says for you, Miss Debbie Hedden. Card 52, Spiritual 7. Scarab Beetle says, in ancient Egypt, the scarab beetle was revered for the creative magic. And it reminds us that we can bring forth something extraordinary, seemingly out of thin air. Whenever you let your creativity flow through you, Scarab Beetle Spirit reminds you that Spirit has given you the gift of infinite potential. You have an ally as you fashion something new or repurpose the old, for Spirit co-creates with you, channeling energy through you so that you feel replenished and vitalized as you make magic with what is at hand. Now is the time for great optimism, for you can accomplish anything you desire, and your creative endeavors will come to fruition. Miracles, opportunities, abundance, and love will appear seemingly out of nowhere as you allow Spirit to work through you and magically manifest what you need. Oh my goodness, Debbie Hedden, that is the most beautiful, awesome card. First time we've gotten that one, I think, ever. So good for you. That sounds totally positive. Let's see. Anybody else? Willa. Okay, so I should be writing people's names down here. Debbie H. Willa Animal. So since I have the animal card in my hand, Willa, that is what I'm going to pull. Rebecca. I haven't seen yours yet, so I can pick. I gotcha. Okay, but this one here is for Willa, and Willa. Ooh, they want to get mixed up really good. Okay. Eagle. Number 23, Eagle Spirit. Eagle Spirit has your back. Yes, kind of like that idea. I don't think we've gotten eagle before either. Let's look. Eagles, and it was right side up, by the way. Think of the eagles flying high above the other birds, soaring on the wind. Eagle Spirit has appeared to ask whether you're willing to soar to new heights, even if that means solitude for a short while. Truly, all the wisdom of the world is available to you. When storms flash across the sky, it is Eagle Spirit that raises you above it all, helping you conquer fear and overcome adversity, reminding you that Spirit has your back and wants you to experience life at its fullest. At this moment, you are meant to know that you have the highest of wisdom and courage within, gifted to you by Spirit and all the angels. Boldly build your nest in a lofty place and know that you now can fly effortlessly, proudly embodying Eagle Spirit in all her glory and grace, claiming what is truly yours in divine timing. Holy cow. Holy Eagle. That is an awesome, awesome card. Love it. Okay. And of course, I see bald eagles a lot here where I live. They're all over right now. I mean, goodness. 2 weeks ago, there's a tree that we colloquially call the eagle tree, because at this time of year, it can have a number of eagles. And one day I lost count at 40. I was like, there's no way I can keep counting all these birds that in that tree. And they were all bald eagles in various stages of their white heads, or the younger ones have just the brown heads. Gorgeous, gorgeous tree, gorgeous birds. Let's see, Rebecca. So I'm going to pick for you an animal card, Rebecca. That seems appropriate for today for you as well. And I better write Rebecca. I did Willa, Rebecca. And time-wise, we're doing good. So Rebecca gets seahorse spirit. Oh, well, I think that is probably the one, seahorse spirit. This other one stuck to it, but it's like it's a sequential one, and it's skunk. I don't know what I think about that. So let's just see what I think about it when I get to it. So seahorse spirit says, watch and wait, but skunk says, know your worth. Maybe we should read both because they were stuck together. And let's do seahorse first because it really was the first one. And I don't understand why these are coming out like this, because I've played with this deck so many times. All right. Watch and wait. Hovering gracefully, the seahorse observes with the perspective of one who is not engulfed by the drama, remaining at a distance from all the turbulence. Seahorse spirit appears at this time to remind you of the need to be neutral and gain perspective. Your message from seahorse spirit is, not my circus, not my monkeys. Spirit wants you to know that even if you are tempted to jump into the fray and try to fix things, the best way to serve yourself and others right now is to remain calm and simply watch and see. Another message here is that whatever your query, seahorse spirit asks you to step back from it, be willing to explore things from different angles rather than a single one, and just observe what is possible. From the perspective of the position of the neutral observer, you will discover a myriad of opportunities and a deeper understanding of what you seek and why. And you will know beauty, truth, love, and wisdom. Now, skunk, being the stuck card to that one, says, know your worth. Still a pretty card, right? And it says, what do you value? What do you believe in? Is your best, most authentic self on display? Skunk spirit comes as a reminder that you can be proud of who you are and what you have accomplished. Know your worth. Not everyone will agree with you or share your values, but you can walk with your head high, knowing that when you express your integrity, others can feel your authenticity and will be inspired by it. Be who you are. And if your reputation precedes you, good. You have much to be proud of, and skunk spirit wants you to be your best self and your true you. Love it. Those are awesome cards too. All right, Rebecca. Then let's see who was next. Kathy Miller, good morning to you. I was thinking about you the other day. Snowing in McMinnville again. Son-in-law installed new starter in my truck, and the great-grands are sick, poor babies, and I have an abscessed tooth. Oh no, much healing sent to you. My friend needed my support as her 44-year-old was hearing voices and they are watching him. Oh dear. You know, sometimes when we have these powerful portals, and you can almost tell by the people who are reacting, like your friend's son, that there's a big portal here. And I often think of people that experience the voices in their head or have those kind of mental challenges that maybe we think of as schizophrenia, or I don't even know what else they call it anymore, that something big is happening on the planet. And they're usually the ones that are more sensitive to it, and they're also more confused by it. So that tells you right there that there is so much going on, and that the portal is opened for us to move through and elevate. So just support them and send them love and energy healing as much as you can. And just know that they're the harbingers. They're telling you something big is happening on the planet. All right, Miss Vicky, it is your turn, and I am going to choose a Wisdom of the Oracle card. Move these other ones out of my way. Oh, I an Avalon card also wants to come out for you, Vicky. So let's pull that. All right, this is for Vicky. And these, of course, are also a Colette Baron Reed deck called Wisdom of Avalon. And we get the Water Fairy. Isn't she pretty? Move it in closer. Feelings and emotions. The Water Fairy. Let's read what she has to say in just a moment. I'm also picking another one. My first instinct was this one, but another. Oh, yes. And imagine. Isn't that pretty? See all the light and the moon? Imagine. Okay. And it came out upright. So let's read the Water Fairy first. She is card number 28, by the way. I opened right up to her. And when the Water Fairy swims up to you with her liquid magic, she reminds you that emotions and feelings may be running the show. She asks you to consider how you really feel about things and why. She also reminds you that you are not your feelings, you are the one experiencing them. Remember that as water flows, emotions change. The Water Fairy also tells you that it's time to lose your rigidity, be fluid and willing at times to compromise and allow change to happen. If you're happy right now, enjoy, for the Water Fairy swirls her love around you. If things are making you sad, she comes to wash away your tears. The Water Fairy knows the power of emotions, so when she appears, be mindful of them and how they affect you. Remember, feelings are the fuel for manifesting. Be certain that you want to create what you're feeling. Allow your feelings to pass through and focus on the positive. The Water Fairy longs to smile at you in reflection. I love it. Beautiful. And imagine is, again, it looks very powerful. I just realized there's a being right here in the middle reaching up to the sky. Right here, reaching up. So let's look at Imagine, card number 20. All right. The meanings: turning imagination into manifestation, creative thought, visualization, the power of aligning imagery and feelings, creativity and illusions. Who do you want to be? What do you need to believe in order to have the life you want? You were gifted with the power to imagine. If you can dream it, you can create it. This is the time when your imagination is the key to manifesting the life you desire. Spend time today dreaming, fashioning a vision board to help you see your goals, or meditating. Allow the power of your creativity to deliver images of what feeds your soul. Then allow your feelings to mingle with your inspirations and imagine these things being real right now. Then repeat. What you imagine will become your belief, and soon you will see these things come to pass in the outer world as if by magic. Those cards seem to go together really well. So awesome. That's for you, Miss Vicky. Let's see who was after Vicky. Who am I missing here? Oh, Colleen. And Colleen, if you're still out there, wow. Yeah. Okay. So, Colleen, I have Wisdom of the Oracle, but I'm going to check and see, Colleen, if you said, Kathy, I will pull one for you. Good morning. I'm going to, if I say your name improperly, I so apologize, but it looks like it's EG or IG. I would love one too. So, yours in just a minute, Kathy, just a minute. And right now, this one is for Colleen. And Colleen, I'm trying to see if I saw where you might have told me what deck you wanted. If not, Colleen, did you just say pick a deck for me? Okay, good. I've got the deck in my hand. And I am picking from the Wisdom of the Oracle for you, Colleen. And, ooh, flexible. Let me bring that in. It's card number 19. And look at that. I think if I did that, I would AG. Oh, thank you for that. Okay, so let's read what flexible is all about. And number 19. Don't you wish you were this flexible? Yikes. Okay, so essential meanings for you, Colleen. Teachability. open-mindedness, being adaptable without compromising what's most important. The oracle's message: a tree's roots are solidly planted in the ground, yet its branches can bend in a hurricane, whereas a rigid structure like a building would come crashing down. Consider how the tree remains supple and secure when everything around it may be in shambles. This is how you need to be now: willing to learn new things, teachable, malleable, yet firmly grounded in who you are. Common sense is important, but so is an open mind. Stay curious, stay open, stay aware. At this time, others will be more flexible with you too. I think that's a great card. Nice reminder, because sometimes we can get stuck in our ways. Okay, next one for AG and Kathy. So AG, I think I'm going to pull a Wisdom of Avalon card for you, unless you have another preference. And this is a deck that I've just loved. Gosh, we've used this deck for a long time. I have used this deck for a long time. And it's nice because it has signposts along the way. Sometimes we get those cards that are just words, like right now. The word is restriction. And card number 35. So what are you holding back from? Let's see. This marker brings notice of restriction in all things. You are in a prison of your own making, or at the mercy of that which is temporarily out of reach. You aren't able to move forward constructively at this time. Be patient. Pay attention to the next right action. And sooner than you know, the prison doors will swing open and you will yet again proceed to the greater goal. For now, take this opportunity to rest, taking stock of where you are and from where you've come. Ask, how did I get here? What am I not seeing? What needs repairing? Once answers come, so does relief from the bondage of circumstances of the mind. So let's draw another card for you, AG, and see if we can't get another sort of clue for you on what to do next, or what's coming next with this. And this one is the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. Okay. I know sometimes it seems like cards can be scary when they come out like that, but this one is the cheetah. Card number 47 and 11 is enlightenment. It says, go the distance. So it sounds like, even though maybe things are restricted at the moment, to stay with what you're doing and things will change. Let's read the card 47. 47. There you are. The essential meaning is endurance, strength, and the long haul. To bring your dream to life, you must think long-term and pay no attention to the fluctuations in the current of your experience. Joy and disappointment commingle with opportunities, so there is no need to fear the occasional obstacle. Life is not a sprint. This card is a reminder that you have endurance, strength, and fortitude to carry you all the way. Remain true to yourself. Your authenticity alone will keep you in alignment with the energy of miracles. What is yours will never be withheld from you. Remember that. All right. I like that. Those two go nicely together. And Kathy Miller wanted an animal card. Switching decks over here to the animals. This is for you, Kathy. I bet you feel like a bit of a bear right now, like stuck in your house because of the snow. It's snowed a lot for all of us in the Northwest this year. We're so not used to it. We're used to the rain. And Kathy, I get coyote spirit for you. Look at that. She's beautiful. Trust in divine detours. Kathy, you have a birthday coming up, don't you? So does Kenny. 16. Coyote spirit. Trust in divine detours. Do you find that you're being led on a strange detour in your life right now? Does it seem that what appears to be the next right action and the right choice, best situation, or fabulous relationship unexpectedly turns into the opposite, or just disappears into thin air as if you've been tricked? Coyote Spirit's trickster energy is designed to bring you into situations to teach you lessons you have forgotten to learn. Perhaps you need a taste of failure before you experience success, a need to feel disappointment before you can truly appreciate the joy, love, and prosperity that is coming up for you. Perhaps you are revisiting a pattern you forgot wasn't in alignment with the life you were intending to co-create. Being reminded that gratitude, not complacency, will keep you awake and aware of all that is available to you in the moment. Coyote Spirit reminds you to laugh about the unexpected twists, to develop humility and gratitude while releasing your attachments to the form of your desires. Even when you suddenly find yourself on a detour, wondering when you will get back on track to manifesting what you desire, remember that Spirit has a plan for you and wants the best for you. Trust in divine order now. Coyote Spirit is a divine helper. No matter what seems to go astray, things are exactly as they're supposed to be. Gotta love that. All right. And she's beautiful. Look at this card. I mean, somehow the light here just doesn't really give that full expression, but look at her eyes. There's just wisdom in those eyes. All right. Who else needed a reading here? Rebecca asked a great question. So we are always moving around the circle, but elevating means moving up the spiral into the unknown. Yes, exactly. I mean, we can choose to just keep going around and around, but we can also choose at that conjuncture of at the portal to, elevate and go up to the next level. You guys ever been in the airport on those spiral parking garages, right? You're driving around in this spiral and you can choose to get off or go up, right? That's kind of what I feel like this is all about. Hey, Debbie, I see you, honey. I will not forget you. Let's see. Okay, so I'm just making sure before I go on that there isn't other questions. Crystal, I love that deck. Yes, it's just joining at the end. Card drawing, please. Okay, so I'm going to do two more readings. I'm going to do one for Debbie and I'm going to do one for Gail. Oh, Holly, I might as well do 3 more readings. Okay. And then I'm done. It's already after 9. Let me know what cards you want. Today I'm using the Animal deck. I am using the Wisdom of Avalon and the Wisdom of the Oracle. So Debbie, since I'm doing yours next, what would you like? I need some water in the meantime. Debbie, what do you want? I'm going to use the animal cards for you, Debbie. That's right. They were born close together, kind of like me and my little sister, although she and I are never the same age. No. Yeah, so Leanna and Kenny are closer together than Lori and I. Okay, this is for you, Debbie. Maybe this isn't the deck. It doesn't want to come out. So tell me if you have another deck. Wisdom. Okay. That's why the animals won't come out. It didn't want to come out. Wisdom of the Oracle, please. And yes. Oh, that did not take much time. Mending. And it was kind of upside down-ish. So I'm going to read both for you, Debbie, okay? Mending is card number 52. 52. So toward the end of this deck of cards. Is it the last card? It is. It's the last card in the deck. And it looks like 2 little girls. They're fixing something. So the card is mending. The essential meaning is forgiveness, making amends, healing after arguments. The message says, each time we are hurt and allow the hurt to pass through us without understanding and integration, we accumulate an unwanted burden. This keeps us chained to the very things we need to heal. The pain, the memories, the echoes of resentments, and the arguments that we rehearse over and over. Now is the time for mending rifts, healing wounds, and letting go of the old hurts in order to reclaim your power. Now is the time to forgive, to release, to make peace, and to make amends to others. Set yourself free. There's also the possibility, protection message says, heartbreak is a strange healer of souls. Our grief strips away our masks and loosens our tight hold on our separateness, where we view ourselves as I and the world as it. Loss allows us to see ourselves as part of a larger scheme, opening us up to sympathy, empathy, and dependence on others in the moment when we can't hold ourselves together. And it leads us to become one with the greater whole again. Pain and suffering is part of life, and none of us will be immune to it. Can you view this loss, this pain, this dissonance as a way back to source? Let your sorrow break your heart wide open. You will never be left behind. You are loved now more than ever by Spirit, who does not want you to feel alone. One day you will look back and know this truth. Wow. That seems kind of heavy, but also uplifting at the same time. I don't know. Debbie, you're going to have to tell me what you think about that card. I feel like there's something else there that I'm missing. So let me know what you think. This one will be for, who was the next one? Debbie, and then Gail. There was someone else. Okay, good. So Gail, the animal deck. Okay. Gail, this is for you. I love this animal deck. It seems to speak spot on. All right, Debbie. I hate it when I doubt myself, but I was beginning to doubt myself with that card. It just didn't feel quite right. Gail, you get giraffe spirit. See the big picture. But isn't she lovely? She's just lovely. I love the giraffe. I'm enamored with the giraffe. Okay, giraffe says, see the big picture. It is card 29, which is an 11, an important number to all of us right now. Giraffe spirit. Giraffes stretch upward to reach the treetops and look down from a high vantage point. When giraffe spirit appears, it is a sign to observe from a higher view. In all aspects of your life, it's time to stretch your neck out and broaden your view. You just feel like you're opening up, right? Open your eyes to what others need or are experiencing and see the big picture you fit into. No matter how great your wisdom, knowledge, or experience, you don't want to overlook details and connections that will help you better understand yourself and will help you better in your life circumstances. Look beyond what catches your attention at eye level and know that not everything is as obvious as you might like it to be. Spirit will bestow upon you a new perspective that might make all the difference. Wow, that's a great message. Elevate. And let's see, Holly, wisdom of the oracle, definitely. If it's 11:11 there. Oh, Debbie, thanks for telling me that. I love that. 11:11, which means it's 9:11 here. Okay, so this is for you, Holly. And if there's somebody I missed, wow, you get poised, but upside down. So poised is this beautiful angel fairy card number 48, which is a 12, which is a 3, creative energy. And there we go. It's upside down. So let's see what that means for you. This is for you, Holly. 48. Okay. The essential meaning of the card is being ready, bringing something to light, being at your best, and confidence. Now, upside down in protection, it says, you're not ready to move forward at this time, and that has to be okay. Be poised in the face of demands and deadlines. Pretending you know what you're doing works sometimes, but if you adopt a fake it till you make it attitude, it will land you in some muck now. This is not the time to wing it and deliver something half finished. It's okay to postpone things until you are really ready. It's better to disappoint others now than to wish you had later. Patience, right? Holding back from impulsiveness. So that's maybe not the best card that you want to think of, but it is definitely a good card if you are thinking of pushing ahead into something that wasn't really what you need to do right now. Okay, so I hope I got everybody. I feel like I missed somebody. Vanita, was it you? Did I do one for you? Let's do one more for Vanita. I don't know what, I'm going to do the Wisdom of the Avalon deck for you, sweetie. This one. And let's do it. And this is for Vanita. I don't know if you're still out there, but whoa. And guess what? You got the water fairy, right? We've already read this one about feelings and emotions, the water fairy. So the water fairy, I'll read it again for you, Vanita, just because I don't know if you got to hear it. When the water fairy swims up to you with her liquid magic, she reminds you that emotions and feelings may be running the show. She asks you to consider how you really feel about things and why. She also reminds you that you are not your feelings, right? You are the one experiencing them. Remember that as water flows, emotions change. The water fairy also tells you that it's time to lose your rigidity, be fluid, and willing at times to compromise and allow change to happen. If you're happy right now, enjoy, for the water fairy swirls her love around you. If things are making you sad, she comes to wash away your tears. The water fairy knows the power of emotions, so when she appears, be mindful of them and how they affect you. Remember, feelings are the fuel for manifesting. Be certain that you want to create what you're feeling. Allow your feelings to pass through and focus on the positive. The water fairy longs to smile at you in reflection. That's pretty cool. 2 people today get the water fairy. So reminding you that your emotions are very powerful in creating your reality. So what is your focus on? The mind triggers those emotions, and sometimes the emotions trigger the mind to start thinking. And if it's a trigger into the negative, you got to remember not to identify with that feeling, because it isn't you. You're just experiencing the feeling. All right, everybody. I hope everybody got what they needed to hear today. I was glad that I was able to take the extra time to work through cards for people who haven't maybe gotten a reading in a while. I hope everybody has a great weekend. I want to just let you know there's a couple of cool things coming up next. One of the Fridays, not next Friday. Next Friday, I won't be on. Well, I might be. Never mind. The 22nd, I am bringing you an Akashic Records reader to the morning show to interview. Her name is Deborah Lupine. And on Monday, the 25th, remember a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about chi energy and how we can move that energy through ourselves. And I said I thought I had a friend that would be able to help us work through maybe mudras or mantras or something that would help us move energy where it was stuck. Well, she is going to be on the show on Monday, the 25th. And that is my friend Amy Colvin, who just lives down the street from me here, but she really wants to come on and talk to us about chi. And I hope to have Rosie Aronson on the 20th. She's the lady that did the Beautiful Faces deck, the Wisdom in the Faces, based in the Gene Keys. So hopefully we get to interview her and talk about the deck that she did. In the meantime, much love to all of you. Take care. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you Monday morning. Bye for now.